I am Yo from Canine Learning Academy, and I'm so glad that you are here, whether you're watching it live or the recording. Today, we're talking about your puppy's first 4th of July in Huntington Beach. Now, Huntington Beach, 4th of July is like no other, but if you live, no matter where you live, this is basically a master class or workshop presentation on first new puppy and for first 4th of July for any new puppy. If you live in Huntington Beach, or if you've ever been to the 4th of July in Huntington Beach, it's pretty intense. It can definitely be for a lot of fun for us humans. And there's tons of festivities, tons of things to go to for the 4th of July. But if you think about a young puppy, first time, not understanding what all the chaos is, it can be extremely overwhelming. And my puppy, when he was a puppy, so 12 and a half years ago, he was he must have been 4 months old. And I was the same thing. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take my puppy to 4th of July. I had this full on 4th of July hat and a bow tie. And he was 4 months old, I remember. And I was like excited about because I ran back then. So I did the 5K in the morning. So that year I was going to take it off and not run that morning and just bring my puppy through the festivities. And when I went through it and I was like, oh, he was amazing. He was so good. But now, as I have seen more and more puppies overwhelmed, it wasn't that he was amazing and he did fine and he was happy about it. He was hot. He was panting, if I really have to be honest about, going back 12 and a half years ago. He was panting. He was hot. His mouth was open and it looked like he was smiling, but actually he was like stressed. He was like, and it looked like this full on smile. So I was like, oh, yeah, he's adorable. Go say hi. And um, thank God it didn't leave a bad impression for him. I mean, to this day, he's 12 now. He is a little shooken up with fireworks. But even though we've done a lot of training, he went through several years. So not until he was about 9 years old did he go back to being afraid of the sound of loud fireworks, not just the regular ones. And that has to do with there was a couple years that I lived really close and it was just like you couldn't escape it. And that probably with his hearing sensitivity, that kind of took him over the edge. So every 4th of July, I'm not the kind of person that goes out and does the festivities. Instead, I kind of stay home with my dogs and any of the dogs that are in our care because I just want them to feel safe. So for most of our dogs, this can be extremely overwhelming. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about. And if you're watching the recording or you're watching this live, if you have a question, it's going to be on YouTube. You can type it in the comment and actually it pops up for me and I can see it and comment on it later. But let's say you have something, a specific question about your dog. You can either ask it in the comment or you can reach out to me and just text and we can just hop on a call, especially if you're going out of town, you're not quite sure what to do. So I'm going to go over like laying it all out, exactly what to do right now, because you've got about 30 days before the festivities all really kind of kick in. And where I live, it's already starting. People are popping off the fireworks. I don't know if you know, I don't know, but it's starting already. So let's help your puppy feel safe, supported, and confident. So we're talking about this subject mainly because Huntington Beach, 4th of July, it's a huge holiday. There's a parade, there's a race, there's festivities. It's super loud, it's extremely crowded, bicycles, visitors, lots of neighborhood parties. So you'll see like a lot of the different neighborhoods are having parties. And there's some things that your dog is going to be okay with, especially when they're young and you're in the socialization stage or if they haven't hit that teenage stage. If they're a little nervous and shy, maybe if you can control the environment, like if it's your party or if you're going to someone's house that maybe you go for a few minutes rather than a few hours, you can make it work. If you're not sure like you have a dog and you're not quite sure, reach out to us because we'll do an assessment and say, Oh, this might be too much. How about you do 5 minutes, or how about you do 20 minutes, or how about you do something like this? So, the goal for today is most people have an idea of what they want to do for the 4th of July. And I'm here to say is like if you're a student in the pet in our academy, I typically ask you, like, what is the end goal when your dog's completely trained? And majority of our clients are trying to raise a puppy that they can take everywhere and anywhere. And so if you think fast forward, dogs completely trained, that means that you could go to a festivity like 4th of July, and you could go to downtown Main Street on Tuesday night at that fair. You can pop them in a car and go to a hotel and hang out there. Or during the holidays over Thanksgiving, Christmas, you could hang out at a friend's house. Your dog understands, like, it doesn't matter what the environment is. They understand how to loose leash walk. They understand how to lay down on a mat. They understand how to come when called, right? They know those skills no matter what the environment is. So that's the end goal. And if that's your end goal, then we want to be like very careful about what experience you're giving them right now, because this is the default. This young puppy stage, whether it's you've got the 8 to 12 week age stage, or you're in the pre-adolescence, or up to 6 months, or you've got a teenager, all of these impressions, experiences are going to leave a lasting impression, whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. So if your goal is to have a dog that's resilient, neutral, then this experience that's about to happen over the 4th of July, all the festivities of the 4th of July, whether again, it's a block party, the actual fireworks, all of that stuff, those are all different experiences. We want to make sure that your dog has positive associations or neutral associations. So we want the dog to be able to go places and say, yeah, no big deal. We want the dog to be able to see things and go, again, no big deal. So, we don't want to throw the dog into chaos, and we don't want to test the dog. Like, well, let's just see how he does. Always be thinking worst case scenario. Well, what happens if all goes wrong? Well, you just changed your dog's path from being the well mannered dog that can go everywhere and anywhere to having a frightened dog that is now stuck just at home in the neighborhood. So I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to say, like, it is crucial that you think about what it's going to look like for your dog. So, that being said, why is Huntington Beach really hard? Well, I've lived in Huntington Beach most of my life, but I've also got a chance to live in Long Beach, which is also equally as hard. But any city that has fireworks show and events and festivities is going to make it hard for your dog. So your puppy does not know that fireworks are a part of celebration. They only know that suddenly the world got really loud and unpredictable. Now, it's the unpredictable thing that really frightens dogs. Like, we hear a firework and we go, oh, yay, cool, it's so pretty. The dog hears a firework and goes, ducks for cover and goes, where did that come from? So, completely different, right? Same fireworks, two different species interpreting it differently. So we want to think about what your dog is going to go through. The sound comes from a different direction. It comes from up high in the sky, and they don't understand what exactly is happening. They happen, it happens without warning, right? We know that fireworks shows are about to happen. So we're looking in the sky, we're smiling. They had no idea what's about to happen. And then they hear this very, very loud sound. The fireworks leaves a residue, a smell. It also can shake the windows, which, again, if you really think about it, if you didn't know what fireworks were, and all of a sudden you're in a town where there's fireworks, you might be thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm not going to survive this, right? So that's kind of the same feeling that your dog goes through. And then if you take a town like Huntington Beach, it's all there. So it's not just the beach show, which you can get away from. It's every single neighborhood. Every neighborhood is lighting up fireworks. And it's not just on 4th of July, it's several days before, several days after, which is the reason why 4th of July and the day after the 4th of July is the worst day of the year for dogs. It is the highest population of dogs in the shelter on July 5th. It's the most dogs that get hit by a car statistically. It's the most dogs that run away, all on 4th of July. So why? Because they're afraid, right? So understanding fear for a human, you can say, "Oh, it's okay. It's going to be over soon," right? And they can process that information. For a dog, they're just afraid. Their nervous system is afraid. They're feeling like something bad's about to happen, whether it's they're going to die. They just can't figure it out. And there's no talking them into it, right? Because they don't understand you. So when a dog is afraid, it's up to us as as a pet parent to say, my dog's afraid. This is information for you. Now, what you do about it can either leave a lasting impression, positive or negative, right? So if you go, well, just deal with it, well, then they're going to think to themselves, okay, well, I guess you don't read me very well. So if your puppy's scared, they're not giving you a hard time. They're not trying to say, "Well, I'm going to ruin 4th of July for you by being scared." They're literally saying, I'm having a hard time. Some puppies are going to shake, some are going to hide, some are going to bark, some are going to pace, some are freezing, and I'll go over like what it looks like in a second. But some dogs don't do anything. They just literally shut down and go to sleep. Um, it's not a bad thing, but it's also information. If your dog is not taking food and they're shutting down, they have no choice. They don't have a way of telling you, and then nothing's being done. Okay, so our job as really good pet parents is to notice those early signs before your dog shuts down or goes into a higher level of fear, okay, where it leaves an impression for a long time. And then, by the way, I'm not going to make this very long. It's going to be like 45 minutes to an hour, but there's a lot of science that goes into the chemicals that goes into a dog's body when they're afraid. So a lot of the chemicals that goes into the dog's body is going to stay there for a while. So there's a residual problem or like personality change in the dog for the next 2 or 3 days after something traumatizing like 4th of July. So if you notice that your dog is still doing something weird, like going to the bathroom inside, it might be because their nervous system is shot from such a traumatic event. Okay. Here are some stress signals, and I tried to find pictures and create pictures that kind of give you some ideas. But potty accidents in the house, when they're all of a sudden happening, it means it's something in the environment outside, whether it's the residue of smell, the fear of like they can sense something, right? They can sense change. Sometimes they can sense an earthquake and things like that. So in fireworks, they can sense or they can hear it. They have really good hearing. So potty accidents can happen because they don't want to go outside, right? And they're nervous. Clingy. So if you notice your puppy's a little clingy, it's adorable, but again, this is all information, and this means you need to do something about it. This is the stress signals that tells you, hey, they need a little bit of support. Not eating is a big one, especially for those foodies. If they're all of a sudden not eating, that's your sign that tells you, like, my dog's stressed about something. Freezing, staring, just like stuck, kind of thing. Definitely hiding behind a table, hiding behind you. Um, the big one that we have had two puppies in our program over the last 10 years that have escaped on 4th of July and got hit by a car. There was two. One was a gorgeous golden doodle, and then another one was a border collie that got out. And one jumped the 6 foot fence. I don't know how. There was like a little thing there, it was like a shed, short shed. Never done it before, and like got over there and jumped over. And the family was at a neighborhood party. They didn't even know he was missing until they got back, and he'd been hit by a car over on PCH. The second was a border collie. One of the kids left the back door open, and the dog just ran through the screen into an alley and got hit by a car right in front of the family. So escaping is a big one because they're trying to figure out where they can go for safety. So, I mean, it's obvious when you go through the house on 4th of July and all those days that everything's shut and locked. And we're going to talk about a safe space later on, but just understand that during the festivities of 4th of July, and I'm talking about 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after, is lock those doors, shut the screens, shut the, windows as much as possible. Panting is another big one. So I talked about my dog was panting, definitely barking, drooling, and then you see the pacing or their heads moving up, right, left. They can't settle, they can't relax. So those are some of the early signs of stress. And fear is not bad behavior, it's just information. So the puppy is telling you, I am afraid. So let's go back to just kind of talking about why Huntington Beach is so extreme. On a normal day, Huntington Beach is extreme. So when I typically get off the phone or get on the phone with somebody and they're from Huntington, I'll ask them which part of Huntington, and then I'll ask them what's the goal? Like, what's the end goal? Where do you hang out? What do you want to do with your dog? And if they say, I want to take my dog to all these dog friendly places, and I'll say, where do you hang out? Do you hang out like on Main Street? Or are you kind of like a neighborhood cul-de-sac kind of person or Peter's Landing? Because those are two different kinds of environments. So if you hang out on Main Street with the happy hour and things like that, or you go to the Tuesday night fair, there's a lot going on. It's pretty much like a public access to service animal dog. They have to be resilient to the noises. There's homeless people, there's bicycles and skateboards, and there's dogs that are unruly sometimes. There's people eating. There's a lot going on. So that's on a normal day. So then you take 4th of July, and I'm going to show you a video of what 4th of July in Huntington Beach looks like. So you can list, I want you to look at it as a dog, right? I want you to look at all these things that you're asking your dog to kind of put up with. But the sidewalks are busier during the 4th of July. The beach is packed. There are bikes, kids, strollers, music. Yes, parties, open doors, fireworks going off in the middle of the day. And then there's all the picnics and the festivities, that big parade. So let me show you a little video I found of 4th of July, just so you can have an idea of
Take
what it's
me
like.
out to California. Take me out to California. I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. And all the while I was trying to pretend the promised land was there beyond the great divide. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon.
So it leads into the night, all the fireworks. So you can see if you look at that video from a dog's point of view, I mean, for a new puppy parent and a new puppy, I mean, that's like socialization dream, right? If you can give them all those positive experiences. But we call that flooding, is when you just put a puppy and you go, here, take a look at everything all at the same time. They don't have enough time to process it, and it just becomes what we call chaos. So it's not effective. Now, if you wanted to go to the parade or something like that, and you have a very young puppy that you can hold versus putting on the ground, perhaps that would work in a small amount of time, right? But you've got the noise sensitivity, you've got the sight overload. It can just be a lot. So for like a dog that's young, like 20 weeks old, and big, 35 to 40 pounds, you can't carry them. You're asking them to walk through that. You're going to end up yanking and pulling them, and they're still learning how to walk on a loose leash and things like that. It's just extremely chaotic. If you want to watch from a distance and create a different kind of experience, you can for some dogs. You can say, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to go down there for a half hour, but we're going to sit off to the side where I can get some space. Problem is that you can't control that kind of environment. It is loud, and it's really hard to find a place that you can just sit there with your dog. So actually, let me go back one screen. So the biggest mistake that I want you to avoid is bringing your young puppy into the middle of the chaos because you want them to be social. Socialization, it does not mean exposure to everything at the same time. It's typically one thing at a time. Let them process it, let them check it off and go, okay, no big deal. It means positive exposure at the right level. If your puppy's not ready, fireworks and crowds are not socialization. That's just overwhelm. So instead, see what happens if you make a plan before the fireworks start. So think about, well, how can I have fun and bring my puppy too? What would that look like? Perhaps I go for a little bit of time and then somebody brings the puppy home and they recover and we give them a chew or something like that. Choose where your puppy will be successful. Prepare ahead of time, whether you're doing a little bit of training, so you're going to bring their meal with you, or set up sound support. So there are headphones that you can train. It's also very hot during that time of year. So maybe you have booties on, but maybe you do all of that in the month of June before that even happens. Um, Maybe you go down to the race because it's nice and cool in the morning and you just kind of watch at the distance as the, racers kind of come through. But back at home, make sure that your doors are shut. You walk through everything those, last 2 or 3 days. Gates are closed. You've got your collar and name tag on all month long. So starting by this, like I'd say June 10th, you start having your dog wear a flat collar with their name, not collar tags. Like if you can get the flat one, or they even make those collars that have their name on it. You just have to think, if my dog gets out, how do I make sure that, my dog's going to return to me? I use an air tag on my dog. Just even though my dogs I know will not run away, it's just if they get spooked, they have no choice but to run and find cover. So I put an air tag on them. I do keep them in their harness most of the day, just in case. But tags, also just double check to make sure their microchip is all good. But at home, leashes are secure, harnesses are all working. Make a simple plan of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Okay. So let's get into some training. So I'm going to first talk about setting up a puppy safe space. A safe space is if you're having a party, if you're going to enjoy the festivities, and you don't necessarily need your puppy to participate. You want to have a space that's kind of away from the chaos. So if you've got people in your home, then I would find a bathroom, a walk-in closet. You're going to retrain a safe space. And I just did this the other day with the puppy that I have here. I'm at my La Quinta place and I used a bathroom and trained her to go into the bathroom and have a little space for her. You'll see a little video in just a second. But a safe space is if you've got your home and you've got windows like this or whatever kind of windows you have. I guess you can't see the windows here. You're going to put your puppy away from the windows, assuming that during 4th of July, during the festivities like fireworks, the windows are going to shake. Also, the noise comes in louder through the windows and the doors. So, safe spaces are usually like a cozy room that's away from the front door. Um, I said like a bathroom. So, you're going to see this video of me using a walk in bathroom. Any kind of like laundry room. So, think of as much as possible, no windows. You can also retrain the crate, but put the crate in a different room where they're, again, away from the windows, away from the chaos. Make sure they have someplace cozy to relax. You've got plenty of chews, you've got toys, water, and I'm going to show you a video of how to make sure that the puppy loves their safe space. So, show this video right here. So, this is Senna. This is who I have here with me right now,
The
but
4th
this
of
is the
July
little
can be
safe
exciting for
space.
people, but for puppies, it can feel confusing and overwhelming. Fireworks, loud voices, music, guests, and changes in routine can be a lot for a young dog to process. One of the best things we can do is prepare a calm, safe space before the noise starts. Here, we're using a bathroom as a puppy's safe space. First, we make sure the room is empty and free from anything the puppy could chew, swallow, or get into. Then we add a comfortable bed, a few safe toys, and a fresh bowl of water. We want this space to feel cozy, simple, and predictable. To help soften the outside sounds, we can roll up a towel and place it along the bottom of the door. This can help muffle some of the noises from fireworks, people, and activities outside the room. Next, we add calming music or white noise. This gives the puppy a steady background sound and can help make sudden fireworks feel less intense. Once the space is ready, we bring the puppy in to help create a positive association to the new space. Because this may be a new environment, we do not want to just put the puppy in and leave. We want to spend a little time helping them feel good in this new space. This is a great time for simple training, treats, gentle play, or a food puzzle. We are teaching the puppy that this room is safe, comfortable, and full of good things. If your puppy chooses to rest, that's great. If they need a bit support, stay calm and keep things low key. Remember, your puppy's safe space is not a punishment area. It's a place to decompress, relax, and feel protected during a busy holiday. A little preparation before the fireworks begins can make a big difference in helping your puppy feel calm, confident, and secure this 4th of July.
So you would do a training session in that new space approximately once a day and give one. I like to put a camera in that safe space as well and give them one nap out of their three naps in the morning before 4 o'clock. See if you can leave them in there for a few minutes at a time and build up to approximately 1 hour to cover like a 4th of July fireworks show. Now, if you're planning on hosting an event or something like that, I might work up to 2 hours and then I would have an assigned pet sitter or someone that can go and take the dog out, go do something, and then bring them back in. One other option is to add a potty station in there. So, especially if you've got a dog that is a little bit more nervous and shy, you can do it like in the shower there. I was in Vegas and it was 120 degrees, and I was in a dog show. And of course, my dogs would not go outside. So, I went to Home Depot. I purchased um, I purchased uh, a patch of grass. I think it was 4 by 6. It was big. And then I put a bunch of trash bags on the floor of the bathroom, laid real grass, but you can also use fake turf. And I just made that the potty station. I didn't worry about, you know what I mean? The environment you can't control. So, like for fireworks, if you've got a dog that's struggling going to the bathroom outside and it's a temporary environmental stressful experience, just change the potty area and say, okay, for right now, you can potty right here. So, that bathroom that I showed you, if I had a puppy that I was having a party or something like that, I wouldn't do that, but just in case, I'd probably add a potty station there and train the dog to go to the bathroom there just so that they can go to the bathroom in peace and not stress about trying to, find a option, other option. Another thing is that a lot of people drink during the 4th of July. So having clear rules for your dog. So I'll typically put my dog in an X pen, whatever dogs that we have at the house, and then we'll put signs up. Obviously, it's just myself, so it's not a big deal. But um, if you're in a home where you've got people coming over and everyone ignores you, clear signs if you're going to have your dog out in an X pen that says, like, here are the rules. Um, Place them on paper, laminate them, whatever you need to get the point across that people do not let this puppy out of their area. Keep the doors and gates closed. I use carabiners just to remind the person because they're going to have to take off the carabiner to open a gate. I use this for the gates, and then they have to put the carabiner back, and I put a little sign there. Do not bring the puppy outside, obviously, but sometimes you just have to write some notes down. So another thing that you can do to help, and it's planning, is just having enrichment, having a bucket in your freezer and your refrigerator, and you've got this like planned ahead. Now, we're going to share some recipes over the month of June leading up, but one of my favorites is like red, white, and blue. I'll do blueberry, Greek yogurt, and then watermelon or strawberry, and I'll kind of like either freeze them, we do lick mats, we blend the stuff, we create all kinds of things using red, white, and blue. So think of licking, sniffing, and chewing to help your puppy settle. So when scientifically, if a dog starts to lick, their heart rate drops. Same with chewing, and it helps to kind of de-stress. And then sniffing is another thing that you can have them do. So think of lick mats, think of chew toys or chew things that they can chew that is frozen. Think of sniffing, like things like cups and stuff like that, and cones that they can sniff out of. We want to prepare these things way before ahead of time. Like when you're busy getting things ready, you've got a bucket of things that you just pull out every couple of hours over the 3 days before and 3 days after. But specifically on the 4th of July, you just keep rotating that. That kind of mental stimulation is equally as good as trying to exercise them. So don't worry about physically exercising them. You do not have to go outside as much as you think. You can do all of this stuff indoors. We want to prepare these before the loud part of the night starts to happen. So I didn't include it today, but what I'm going to do is include a schedule like 6 to 9, do this and do this. And then most of your evening stuff is done by about 7 or 8 o'clock at the latest. But frozen food, toys, lick mats, snuffle mats, or puppy safe chews can give your puppy something calm to do. And it's something that you can prepare way ahead of time. So here's a quick video. I'm just going to play a little bit of it of what this is called a West Paw. This is what we use at the house a lot because they're kind of like, hey, Bennett. We have a lot of them and they're easy to use. So let me just play this video. And I like to, they're silicone, so you
Looking
can
for an
freeze
easy way to
stuff
boost
in
your
it.
dog's mental health, reduce boredom, and make mealtime the best part of their day? We've got just the thing. Actually, 3 of them. Let's take a look at our favorite enrichment toys by West Paws. Durable, fun, and loved by dogs of all ages. Flex Topple. This is more than a treat toy. It's a food puzzle that turns any meal into a brain game. Stuff it with your pup's favorite meal or snack and let them go to work using their nose, tongue, paw, and brain.
Want to make it more challenging? Pair a large and a small topple together for an extra fun puzzle. Next, the topple stopper. Say goodbye to messy prep. This clever little tool plugs the side hole on the topple so you can add wet food, broth, or other goodies without leaks. Pop it in the freezer and you've got a long-lasting enrichment snack. Perfect for crate time, wind down after puppy school, or a calm evening at home. And the West Paw Rumble, a wobbly slow feeder that's perfect for kibble or small treats. It's soft yet sturdy, it's gentle on the mouth, and keeps even the most energetic pup engaged at mealtime. Here's why we love these toys, and why dogs will too. They help prevent boredom and anxiety, encourage natural problem-solving skills, slows down fast eaters, it's dishwasher safe, made from durable non-toxic materials, and they're eco-friendly, made in the USA by a B Corp certified company. Stock up on a few topples or rumbles so that you can prep ahead. Stuff and freeze them with meals or snacks, and you'll have instant enrichment ready all week long. So we like those because we can freeze them and we can just like have them already in a bucket. We use them at the academy, but we use them at the house a lot. There are some dogs that have been destroying things. So if you've got a big time chewer, you'll just not want to use something like that. You'll try to find something else. So sound training is what we've been doing at the academy I think we've started about 2 weeks ago. So if you walk into the academy, you're going to hear fireworks going off and you're going to see dogs like not even caring about that. If you have not have your dog in school, I'm going to show you how to pair up the sound with something fun that they're doing. So if you practice with fireworks sound, you're going to start the fireworks sound at a very, very low volume. Your puppy should be able to eat, play, relax, not even think about it. If they stop eating or if they leave, if they bark, that tells you that the sound is too loud. So this is called sound desensitization, or making the puppy less sensitive to the sound. Start in a quiet room. Um, Go ahead and find a YouTube video that says fireworks. And in the video that I have, I posted like 3 different links. So you're looking for a steady fireworks sound, not the loud boom, and then it pauses and boom. I have a different tutorial on that I'm going to share next. So this is for the steady fireworks sound so that they become like white noise to them. Every 2 minutes, if your puppy's doing amazing, you can turn the volume up. So I'm going to play the video. Does have some audio over it, but you're going to hear me actually doing a session with this dog, Senna. First time doing it with her. She's 20 weeks old. And I was able to go to, I think, volume 80 on the TV. You can start off with your computer or your phone. You can then do it with your TV because you could get higher volume. And then I would do the same thing going outside on your phone so that they can still hear the fireworks sound in different areas. And it sounds more realistic than just coming from your TV.
The 4th of July can be a really overwhelming holiday for puppies. Fireworks are loud, unpredictable, and very different from the sounds that they can hear in everyday life. One way we can help prepare our puppies is by gently introducing the sound of fireworks before the holiday arrives. The goal is not to scare your puppy or to force them to just get over it. The goal is to help them hear the sound at a level where they still feel safe, comfortable, and able to have fun. In a room where a puppy feels safe, this might be a quiet bedroom, bathroom, crate area, or a puppy safe space. Make sure the space is calm, comfortable, and free from anything your puppy should not chew or get into. Next, look up a fireworks sound on YouTube or another sound app. Before you press play, turn the volume all the way down. When you start the sound, your puppy should be able to hear it, but it should not cause stress. We're looking for relaxed body language. It is okay if your puppy notices the sound. You might see their ears twitch. They might look forward to the speaker, or they may pause for a second. That's normal. But if your puppy's startled, hides, pants, barks, or tries to escape, refuses food, or seems worried, the volume is just way too loud. Turn it down right away or stop the sound completely and try again later at a much lower volume. Once the sound is playing softly, do something fun with your puppy. Play with the toy, practice some easy training skills, scatter a few treats, or invite them into a simple game they already know and enjoy. We want your puppy to start thinking, when I hear that sound, fun things happen. After a couple of minutes, if your puppy's still relaxed and engaged with you, you can raise the volume just a little bit at a time. Keep it easy. This is not a test. We're not trying to see how much your puppy can handle. We're helping them build confidence one small step at a time. Continue playing, training, or offering treats while the sound is on. If your puppy stays comfortable, you can increase the volume slightly every couple of minutes. If your puppy gets worried at any point, this is important information, lower the volume, make the activity easier, or stop the session altogether. Keep these sessions short, especially in the beginning. A few minutes of calm, successful practice is much better than pushing too long and making your puppy nervous.
So we're doing this at the academy with all the dogs. We're at a pretty high volume already. You can see that the dogs are not affected by it. But if you have not done this kind of training before, we recommend starting in the home and low volume and gradually move up. If there's any questions about that, just ask, especially if you have a dog that's a little showing signs of stress. So remember to go back to that stress signals. Okay, so one of the big complaints I get is that, yeah, my dog's fine with it coming on YouTube, but because they know it's on YouTube, that's typically what they say to me. And I'm like, okay, they do not know that it's coming from YouTube, but that's okay. Is the loud sound, the very like boom, like it's quiet for a second, and then there's this like I forgot what they're called, but there's a specific firework that makes this like spiraling loud noise. So you just look it up on YouTube, and this training series is called Boom Click Treat. I'm going to play the video so you can see what this training looks like. So the other one, it just played loudly or, at a volume that your dog can handle, and you're just doing a bunch of things. It didn't really matter, right? This one specifically, listen to the sound. Here comes a treat. Okay. So this is called Boom Click Treat. Oops.
When fireworks get louder, we want to give your puppies a simple, predictable game that helps them feel safe. One of my favorite games to play is called Boom Click Treat. This game teaches your puppy that the sound of fireworks means something good is about to happen. Here's how it works. When your puppy hears the boom, you say yes or click and then give them a treat. Boom, click treat. Boom, click treat. That is the whole game. We're not asking your puppy to sit or stay or look at us or perform a trick. The fireworks sound itself is the cue that a treat is coming. This is important because puppies do not always know what to do when they hear a big sudden sound. They may freeze, bark, hide, or look worried. Instead of waiting for them to panic, we're helping them build a new association, a new pattern. Fireworks means food, or fireworks means safety. Fireworks sound means check in with my person because good things are about to happen. Start this game with a recorded fireworks sound at a low volume. Your puppy should be able to hear the sound, but they should be able to be comfortable enough to take food, play, and stay engaged with you. If your puppy's ears twitch and they look towards the sound, that's okay. Noticing the sound is normal. But if your puppy hides, pants, barks, freezes, or tries to escape or refuses food, it's way too loud. Turn the volume down and make it easier.
So typically do that for about 60 seconds at the most because it's supposed to be like a big, huge, loud noise. We also do it at the academy. We'll drop something like a platform we'll say one, two, three, and then we'll drop it so all the trainers know we're about to do it. It's a really loud, all of a sudden sound at the academy. We'll do something like that, and then we'll say, "What was that?" And then we'll offer a treat. So it's kind of the same concept, but it's for things that it just all of a sudden happen. Okay, so that's to help with those all of a sudden loud noises. And then to finish it up, day of 4th of July, keep things simple. In the morning, do a calm walk or short training session. In the afternoon, let your puppy kind of rest. So in the morning and afternoon, all the way till about 4 or 5 o'clock, you're gonna, do something for 45 minutes and then let them rest, and then do something for 45 minutes and just keep staggering that, back and forth. A little bit of outdoors, like doesn't have to be like this long dragged out thing, but if you are going to go for a walk, you're going to do your heavier walking in the morning. Let your puppy rest. Early evening, take them out to potty before the noise gets going. Before it gets dark, that's when you want your dog to go out, and hold on to your leash. We had a dog break free from the pet parent because it was like 6 o'clock at the evening, and a fireworks sound went off and the dog just like took off. So if you have to wrap it up around you, just know that at any moment in the evening or in the afternoon, even if it's sunny outside, someone can light something up and your dog can take off running. Make sure they have all of their tags on. Um, During the fireworks, use your safe space enrichment, like make sure all of that's in place ahead of time. Write it all out. Make sure you have a plan. Maybe you have a pet sitter. Maybe you've got backup. You know that we have our 4th of July event. We have it every year just to protect our dogs that are in our academy while the pet parents go and join the festivities. So if you can't be there to support your brand new puppy, I encourage you to use us for their first 4th of July. It's going to be at the academy, and a few of us all stay the night. We have movies and popcorn. We play loud TV to block out all of the noise. Comfort is allowed. So I've heard this before, the old idea of comforting your scared dogs makes fear worse. That is not true. That's not how fear works. If your puppy is scared, you can comfort them. You can sit nearby. You can speak gently. You can offer food. You can let them be close. You can read your dog. You can see what they need to just feel safe. So you don't want them panicking and stressing. So find a way to comfort them. Your puppy learns that you are their person, so you want to be that person that you know that they need. Safety checklist. One big thing is take a lot of pictures of your dogs and have them ready on your phone. Front, sideways, walking, standing, long hair, short hair. Have every single picture you can think of on your phone. Just in case your dog goes missing, you're immediately going to upload those into your local Nextdoor, Facebook, um, print off pictures, have everything ready to go. Update your ID tags, register your microchip, secure your collar and harness. Definitely put your dog on a leash for potty breaks. If you're not doing that, close all the doors and gates. Remember to have your guest rules, and have all of your emergency vet information. Um, be ready to go just in case your dog goes missing. If you're still like, if you've got a nervous, fearful dog and you're like, they're just, they can't even get through the normal noises in my city, this is where you might want to get some help. And typically I say, start with something like CBD or those like stress supplements that they have over the counter. If you can start early, like the first week of June, and test things out, CBD and over the counter supplements is usually where I have people start and see if that takes the edge off a little bit. If you've got a dog that's refusing food and already like nervous and scared, I'd probably start thinking about like, what can I do to get them through this holiday? Um, you don't want to wait for them to be afraid and go, oh my God, I've got a week before 4th of July and then panic. So I would do it a little bit on the early side. Obviously, you're doing all these games and things like that, but you may not have enough time to actually change their mind about, all of this. So start with something like that. then reach out to your vet. Most of the vets know it's a horrible holiday for dogs and for all animals. So they'll normally prescribe you something. You want to test it way before the 4th of July, see what you need to get, through it. I was not a big fan of medication back in the day, but I've seen dogs just can't handle it. So I understand like sometimes you just need to medicate your dog to get through this small period of time in their life to make sure it's not leaving a really bad effect. Guess the final message here is, let's see what, yeah, final message is basically your puppy's first 4th of July is not about providing what they can handle and just like testing it all out there. It's about thinking ahead of time, going, I want to make sure that my puppy has a good experience and that I'm not forced to just kind of have them deal with it. You're protecting them and you're helping them build confidence progressively. And, just like they're going to school, they're learning little by little. There will be plenty of times for like patios and public outings and beach walks and fun adventures that don't have to do with 4th of July. I just don't think 4th of July and dogs are a good mix. I not found it almost ever. They are trying to change the way we do 4th of July. There are some like Long Beach did and I'd love to see Huntington do it. It's an animation. What was it called? It's light show, and it was beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, if we can all go to a light show and there'd be no more big time fireworks, it might, we might change the way that we look at 4th of July for our animals. But for right now, it's a hard holiday, so we're just going to try to help you guys get through it. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Just call the 949-849-3885. Set up a call with me. I'm happy to just kind of go through some tips specifically customized for you and your dog. And hopefully this presentation settles some of your questions. Share it with anybody that has a new puppy that you want to reach out to. I'll have the recording uploaded pretty soon, but we will see you later on this week.